You're okay, ma'am. You're safe now. Can you look at me?
They're still out there.
We'll take care of it. Right now, we just need to get you warm.
Dispatch, victim located. We're heading back to the vehicle.
Easy does it. Lean on me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Creme de la Cringe. I'm Colleen, and I'm with Trista.
Hi, guys. How's your week been, my dear?
Okay. It's just okay. And I know you're gonna have a stressful week. Yeah, so let's it's okay. It's just been I've been in a lot of pain. Like my sciatic pain came roaring back this week, and it's been bad. So
Tennis ball. I'm telling you.
I know. I try that, and it hurts so bad. Like, yeah, I did do
And it's so hard
on Monday, and it did help, but it shifted it to the other leg now.
Ugh. I know, and that's so frustrating though. When I dealt with my sciatic going back and forth up to twin first, my youngest for ever, my sciatic started hurting. It got to the point I couldn't even laugh without it hurting. I went to physical therapy, did all that, and the only thing that ever helped was the tennis ball. But it hurt so good, because it hurt, but in the end, it felt really good.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that when I get off. We have 2 shows tonight, so maybe I'll do that when I get done. Tonight I thought we would break from murder, and we're going to talk tonight about something that happened in our own town, and it hit us all in the worst possible way. Now, I have to preface this by saying the trial has not happened yet. This whole case is alleged until the trial is over and the jury has their say. So these are all alleged crimes. These are all activities that are alleged. But it is creepy and it's weird, and it's the start of several cases we're going to do on funeral homes, guys.
Yeah, it's a doozy.
This
I
one's
mean, and yes, he is innocent. The person is innocent until proven guilty. I mean,
yeah. But it's really it's really hard when you're in the town where it happened and you know the details, and you know more than they're printing, and yeah, it's
I'll
bad.
be honest, I'm surprised that they kept it here.
Oh yeah, that's true, huh? Change of venue. Well, maybe they will, because the trial hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, and that is very true. But it was surprising to me that they even considered keeping it here.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, if you're somewhere else in the country and you don't know what we're talking about, like imagine it's the worst possible day of your life, and you walk into the door of a funeral home. I've done this twice with my parents, and you're relying on them to guide you and lead you through the process and preparing your loved one to say goodbye to them. You're relying on them at the worst day of your life, right? And you're looking for guidance. You're looking for them to help you make decisions. You're overwhelmed with grief. Usually you have someone with you, but you still got to make all these decisions and process all of this stuff. And can I just tell you, if you don't have a will, please make one, so that everybody knows what you want, and everybody, you know what I'm saying? And
it
now
just makes it easier.
I was actually talking with a friend of mine who just lost her husband last week, and maybe a week and a half ago, and she had registered. There's a process now where you can sign up now, and it tells the funeral home what your wishes are, and you don't have to pay for it yet. You just put it all in writing, so that
that's kind of nice.
It's really, she did it because her husband was passing away, and you have to have it done before you pass away. But she did it, and it just made it so much easier. But that's what I'm talking about. We trust these people, right?
Yeah. I mean, and you do. I mean, in the process of dealing with my grandma's death and my aunt's death, I will tell you from what happened during my grandma's, my uncle had used a different funeral home because he wasn't pleased with how things went with my grandma's funeral. I mean, and that's because we go in there and you are expecting them to not only be there for like support, emotional support, but to help guide you, like you said, through all of it. Cause it is such a emotional process, and it really is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I took a look at funeral professionals in the state of Idaho, because every state has different requirements and different legal licensing requirements for funeral home directors. So we're in Idaho, and like I said, this is going to be the first of many cases that we're going to do on funeral homes, because guys, I've been researching funeral homes for the last few years, and it is disturbing.
It's
What is going on?
wild. It
Yeah.
is so disturbing and
It is
crazy.
like, what the hell? I get that.
ah,
I know two people personally who work in the funeral home business, and they were both in the Navy with me. And they went into funeral home directors when they got out of the service, because that decorum you learn in uniform transfers
yeah.
so well to that decorum that these people usually have, right? So,
And that would make sense.
yeah. But I'm worried about them now. I'm like, oh my God. What kind of stress are they under? So let's get into this. In Idaho, there's really strict guidelines about education and training, and there's apprenticeship requirements to work in a funeral home. For example, you can obtain a mortician's license, and to get that, you have to complete and receive an associate degree from a mortuary school. It's an actual school. And
I
you
did
have
not know that.
I know. And then you
I
have to
didn't
be
know that.
accredited by the American Board of Funeral Service Education. Yeah. I didn't even know that was out there. You
I
have
didn't even know
to
that was a thing.
practice. What?
I said I didn't even know that was a thing.
I know. You have to practice as a licensed resident trainee in the state of Idaho under personal supervision of a licensed resident mortician for not less than 12 months. I don't know why they don't say a minimum of 12 months, or not less than 12 months. And you have insisted in embalming at least 25. And then they say dead human bodies. I hope they're dead. Okay. This is right from the
It
rain.
makes you really wonder, okay, why did they
I
have
know,
to put
did
that
they-
clause in there?
I know. Because like in the service, like everything that they do in a safety manuals, because some dumbass did something stupid. So I'm like,
Yep.
they try to embalm somebody alive because, all right,
Somewhere, someone did.
somewhere someone did something really bad. So they have to do at least 25 dead human bodies and assisted in making at least 25 funeral arrangements. So you had to be the front person for the family, provided that, let's see, the resident trainee of the state of Idaho may be filled and performed either before or after the required post-high school education. So you can kind of apprentice before you get your degree, as long as you get your degree.
Wow.
Like you can start working in a mortuary and then work on your degree at the same time, kind of thing. So that's kind of
So,
cool.
I mean, you can kind of combine them. Yeah, that's kind of nice, because then, I mean, if you're doing it for right reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. There
That's
is
the key.
right? So
Yeah.
if you have an application to the state, you have to pass an examination prepared and conducted by the Board of Morticians. There's a board. And then there's a lot involved in this. It's not like you just put on a suit and you're a mortician. It doesn't work like that. You're licensed. And most of the licensing requirements in various states that I've researched are due to something horrific that happened. Okay. All right. So let's get into this. 1931, Byron and Mina Downard opened the funeral home. It's on North Garfield Street across from our Pocatello High School. And I am going to show, oops, did I lose you? Nope. Hi. I'm like, what? I got too many tabs open. I am going to share, if I can figure out how to do that, the map. Let's see, here we go. This is Google Earth, and you can see Downard Funeral Home right here. This building no longer exists because of what happened, guys.
It's now a parking lot.
It's now a parking lot for the school. But this funeral home, I've been in the funeral home for a haunted thing years and years ago.
Wait, you've been in that one?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I met the gentleman involved. I use that term loosely. With this whole thing. I cannot share, but you can see them online if you guys Google this. I cannot share the photos. We don't have copyright to share what was printed in the press. The press owns those photos. So I don't, yeah. So that's a whole other story. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's Downard. Okay, so let me get my other screen back up here. Here we go. So it was at 1931. No, I'm sorry, North Garfield Street. 1931 is when they opened the funeral home. It was the Idaho Division of Occupational and Professional Licenses database shows that between 2015 and 2018, the current owner of the now defunct and no longer existing funeral home, Lance Peck, faced civil disciplinary actions. Okay, he was the licensed and registered mortician at the funeral home, so he's gone through the training and he's licensed, but things go terribly wrong. So troubles for Downard Funeral Home start and the Portland Valley Crematory. So they considered the crematorium itself a separate business entity than the funeral home. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there were several partners in the crematory. So
I did know that because the funeral home in Malad was actually connected to it.
Yeah. So because a lot of funeral homes don't actually have a crematorium, they're just the funeral home.
Yeah.
And then they send the bodies to be cremated. Okay. So troubles began when the funeral home and the crematorium began. It really began about 2012. So long before all of the creepiness. So a man donated his remains to the Idaho State University's cadaver program. So at ISU in Pocatello, apparently they use bodies in their nursing and respiratory, probably, I guess. You know more than I do.
Have you ever been into the cadaver, the lab? Cadaver lab?
Well, we have our paranormal class in that one building, but that's just respiratory.
Yeah, no. I've actually been in there with the bodies that I've been donated because of my EMT stuff. And that, was different. Out of all the medical stuff I've done in my life, I'm walking in there, I'm like, this is different. Like, and the smell is something you will never get out of your nose.
There is definitely a smell. I used to inspect crematoriums in Sacramento County. Yeah. And there's definitely a smell. Definitely.
Yeah.
So,
and especially the cadaver lab because they've got to spray all that certain stuff to keep them
fresh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so this guy in 2012, he donated his remains, which is really cool for him to do that. Donated his remains to ISU. But Lance Peck was out of town. And he had another funeral home pick up the man's remains. And somewhere in the process, there was no transfer of paperwork. Therefore, it was illegal. So human remains have paperwork that have to go with them. When my mom died, I had her paperwork and her ashes because I took her on a road trip that we had planned to go on before she died. We never got to it. So I took her on the road trip. But I had to have the paperwork. Because I went through 3 states and into Canada. So I had to have her paperwork.
Just in case. They're going to be like, why? Why do you?
Yeah, why do you have remains? Yeah, it wasn't the body. It was cremains. But, I had the urn in the Jeep. And I'm like, well, if they stop me, I need to have the paperwork. So.
And it's true. Like when my cousin passed in May, he sat in the funeral home in Utah. Man, I think it was for like 2 weeks, almost 3, because they could not get the coroner here, because he did die in where we're at, to sign off on the death certificate.
Oh.
So there was nothing that they could do with him until that was signed off.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of,
So that's the first problem. And you know, Peck it was his responsibility. He said the man's remains were not in condition to donate to the university, and he cremated him at the funeral home, which was again illegal because they were supposed to go here and they went here. Can't do that.
Nope.
And that was the first problem. So this issues with the man's paperwork got the funeral home into trouble. And in 2015, the Idaho Division of Occupational and Professional Licenses filed sanctions against the funeral home. And Lance Peck noted that in 2013, he let the funeral home's license expire, and he didn't re-register it for a few months, but he kept doing business. That's another problem. So in 2015, he was ordered to pay a $2,500 fine and a $5,500 investigative costs and attorney's fees back to the state of Idaho. He received 6 months probation from the Occupational and Professional Licenses Board. Okay. But that didn't stop problems with Mr. Peck.
No.
He just couldn't stay out of trouble. He found himself in trouble again in 2016, saying that in 2015, the funeral home and the crematory operated again as an unlicensed funeral establishment. And as a result, they had to again pay $2,500 fine and another $5,000 investigative costs and attorney's fees. And he was given another 6 months of probation. Okay?
That close together, you would think
Something's going on.
Well, and it would have been more of a punishment.
Yeah. Okay. More troubles. We're in 2016 now. And a woman had requested that her body be donated to the Idaho State University cadaver program when situations, quote, out of Downard's control, quote, prevented the funeral home from donating the body and the woman was cremated. So what does that mean? How is situations out of control? Either the body came in and then you just turn around and deliver it to ISU, or
yeah,
you screwed up and you cremated the wrong person. That's what I'm thinking happened. Okay, the woman's family learned of a program where ashes then could be donated. And disciplinary documents showed that the family received 4 small vials of ashes, but no certificate from Downard Funeral Home that certified that the remains made it to that program. They were like, okay, so she didn't go to the cadaver school. We still want her ashes to be donated to whatever it was that they were going to do with them. And he couldn't even do that. So, yeah, I mean, this guy, I'm sorry.
And this is before I moved here. So this is like stuff I don't know about because I wasn't living here at that point in time.
I was just investigating this through the licensing board. I was looking through different stuff. Yeah. So investigators determined the program never received the woman's ashes. And if it had, they wouldn't have any use for the remains because they had stopped the program. And Lance Peck was selling it to this family saying they can take it. So where's her ashes? Because they only got the tiny little vials. I mean,
that's just like a portion of somebody.
Yeah, like when I got my uncle's ashes back and my father's, my mom, they were containers, okay? They're not little vials. It wasn't until November 2017 that Peck reported finding the remains at the funeral home. A year later, he said he found the remains at the funeral home and he gave them to the family. So the cremains, I'm thinking the ashes.
Okay, I'm like, whoa.
On a shelf, and God knows who they were, because we'll dive into more horrible stuff. So who knows if they were really hers?
Yeah.
Okay. So that same year, he faced more disciplinary actions, including another $2,000 fine and thousands of investigative and attorney fees. He was placed now on a 2-year term of probation. At what point, Idaho, do you not pull their license and prevent everything that happened?
Depends on who you know.
Yeah. So it appears that after the 2-year probation, everything was kind of going smooth. that's 2018, 19, 20, everything's okay. And then 21, everything went bananas. Okay. At this point, it's September 21. Even though Lance was the current owner and operator of the funeral home, he was not the one to follow the letter of the permit requirements for state law, as we see through all of the multiple fines and disciplinary actions. And so he kind of spun out of control. Something snapped. Something happened here. I don't know what's going on, but a passerby, and this is where you know the story, they noticed.
Well, and the fact that my daughter was in school at Pokey High at this time.
Right across from this, directly across the street, guys. So a passerby noticed a really strong odor of decay coming from the funeral home and alerted the police. That's not normal, guys. You don't smell decay at a funeral home. You don't.
No.
Okay. An investigation ensued, and the horrific state of the bodies shocked our community, our state. It was shocking. They found more than a dozen decomposing bodies in the funeral home, and the bodies of more than 25 others had disappeared. No paperwork.
Yeah.
Where did they go? On a Thursday in September 2021, law enforcement arrived at the funeral home at 241 North Garfield, like we said, and two suspicious circumstances. According to the spokesman for the city of Pocatello, they said the funeral home is now closed until further notice. Boom, done. So the city came in, shut the doors. There was crime scene tape all over it. It was crazy.
It was crazy.
People would run by and were, holy crap.
Lived up. I just lived on North Hayes, so like a street over and up the way from there.
Oh.
And so it was crazy. And even my daughter had said the smell going to school, that the smell was just horrific.
Yeah, and that's not normal. I mean,
no.
I can get into how the crematoriums operate and all that stuff. It's not, but it's not. That's not normal, guys. It's really not. They actually have to put an odorizer in the stacks so that you're not. You don't smell. You don't smell. It shouldn't smell like, it shouldn't be bad. It shouldn't be bad. Mm-mm. So the cops go in, and they confirmed they had a search warrant for the building, and they started actively searching the premises when they found the decaying bodies. In addition to local police, the coroner's office and the prosecutor's office showed up as well. There were investigators with the Idaho Board of Occupational Licenses, the Ada County Coroner's Office, the Southeast Idaho Public Health, and the news. Everybody's at the scene. It was a mob.
Yeah, it was insane.
You got to remember, we're in a small town. It's not tiny anymore, but it's still small.
Yeah,
the Ada County's coroner's office actually had to send over a refrigeration truck because there was nothing in our county could handle the amount of bodies. So Bannock County's coroner's office said, hey, we need refrigerated trucks brought over. So they had to send in people in hazmat gear for hours, for days, trying to figure this stuff out. We're completely suited up, level A, respirated, the whole 9 yards, because it was so bad. So
it was such a crazy time. And we had just got through COVID, and that was already a crazy time. And then all this happened in our small little community. And like you said, no, we're not tiny. I mean, I'm from a lot tinier town, but we're not like San Francisco or anything like that.
No,
we are pretty small.
We have 100,000 people now. I mean, we're not that big. And we're
I don't even think we have 100,000.
Yeah, on the census now, but we're spread out. So anyway, they get in hazmat gear. There's all of this activity going on, putting bodies in these trucks and zippered body bags. And a couple related to a deceased person within the building said that after they paid for the funeral, they couldn't reach Lance Peck or any of the staff regarding the status of service. So people have been paying him, and he wasn't performing the services that they were paying him to do. So he was then charged with 7 counts of grand theft by deception, 5 counts of furnishing false vital statistics information, 4 counts of income tax evasion, 2 counts of offering false records, 2 counts of computer fraud, and 2 counts of perjury. But that's not all, guys. Okay. And everybody in the community is like really pissed off. They're like, this is nothing.
Well, and it took him forever to charge him.
Yes. So this, on October 11th, there were 22 felony charges filed against him. And then the Pocatello Police Department, the Idaho Division of Occupational and Professional Licenses, and the Idaho State Tax Commission enjoined 63 misdemeanor charges with the 22 felony charges since he was arrested on August 30th. So there was
they just added those felonies, didn't they?
Yeah, but it was like you said, it was a year later. They enjoined all of that. So they had all those misdemeanor charges at first.
Do you know why they did that?
From public pressure, I think.
Well, and you only have a year and a day to charge somebody in the state of Idaho. So from the time that they know about the crime, they have a year and a day that they can charge you. So with them charging him with the misdemeanors, it opened that door for them to go back and attach on the felonies later.
Okay, that makes sense. So the new felony charges stem from Peck's operation of Downard between 2017 and 2021. Okay. There were allegations that at least 25 families either didn't receive any cremated remains, or they received the wrong cremated remains from Peck during his operation in the funeral home. And then aside from that, most of the newly released court documents, well, this was new back in a couple of years ago, remain sealed by judicial order from the time they were filed on October 2011. 2022, until Peck was served with a summons on October 16th for that week. It contained a timeline of the investigative work by police detectives and state officials, alleged fraud. So there was now fraud stuff going on here. So here's what the report from the Idaho State Tax Commission investigation says. It showed that, now again, these are alleged crimes because he's not gone to trial yet. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Peck willfully evaded taxes on his 2017 through 2020 income tax by not including Downard's income of $434,000 on the business income tax return. And on his individual income tax return, he only claimed he made $32,000. Big discrepancy there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
It depends on how, because I have my farm business and I put it on my return. So it's attached to my Social Security number. I don't run it as an LLC or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to declare any income. But on the farm, obviously there's more expenses than income, so I was able to write that off. Anyway, additionally, the report evidence showed that Lance willfully evaded taxes on Downard's 2017 through 2020 sales tax returns by not including the price increase of $2,313 in taxable sales, creating a tax due of $138. They're going after him for everything.
Oh, yeah.
4 felony tax evasion charges stemmed from the Idaho State Tax Commission investigation into his operation. The perjury charges stem from this portion of the investigation because he certified the tax documents as true and correct. When you sign your name on that, guys, that's a government document.
Yep.
Right? Even though he knew that this was all BS, he signed his name and he submitted it. Okay. 2 counts of computer fraud, 2 counts of offering false records are related to the tax commission investigation because he filed the fraudulent income tax documents for 2018 and used a computer to do it. So then they get him for that.
Dang.
7 counts of grand theft by deception filed against him related to his alleged misrepresentations to local families regarding the cremation services, which he charged them for, but never provided. 3 counts of grand theft for over $1,000, charged to because of 3 local families were charged $1,000 each to cremate 3 deceased individuals whose decomposing bodies were ultimately located in the funeral home when it was raided. 2 of the grand theft charges alleged that he charged another 2 families over $1,000 to cremate the bodies of their loved ones. And then he provided them with cremated cremations, right? Cremains, sorry, knowing that the deceased individuals had not actually yet been cremated. So he handed them other ashes. Here you go. There's Uncle Fred. 2 grand theft charges because he charged local families over $1,000 each to cremate their deceased loved ones and failed to provide the families with the cremains, and the whereabouts of those 2 bodies remain unknown to this day. They have no idea where the bodies are.
That's so
What
disturbing.
did he do with those bodies? Isn't that like they're not in the house?
That's like, yeah, I didn't even think about all that.
Yeah. So I guess the grand theft felony charge of minimum amount in Idaho is $1,000. It's not sure how much the overall, like how much he bilked people out of, because he didn't include that in the investigation report because they're probably still investigating.
Yeah.
But there was a lot. There's a lot. He was charged with 60 misdemeanor counts of unprofessional conduct by morticians, funeral directors, or embalmers. 3 misdemeanor counts of petty theft. And okay, they also found, and this was hard for me, 50 fetuses in jars and dozens of unidentified cremated remains. So
the fetuses was a hard one for me. Like, why?
Hard. Like, well, somebody told me that, and I don't know this to be true, that this was part of the ISU program and that they shut it down and he didn't know what to do with them. But then you get a hold of our cemetery and you bury them.
Or get a hold of the families.
Well, I don't know that they may have known because I don't know the place it came from.
Okay, I get where you're going with that. At that point, either cremate them or get a hold of the local cemetery.
Yeah, and you bury them properly. Yeah,
you don't just
like
leave them
like a mad scientist with all these jars of weirdness. You don't.
Yeah.
So he has now the felony and misdemeanor criminal charges. He's facing also a lot of civil lawsuits. So there was at least 15 families are suing Lance, and they all got together and they're doing like a one suit. They all joined because we're in a small county and 15 different suits going, plus the criminal. It was just easier for the families to get their attorneys together. Let's go after them together.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was a pre-trial conference set for January 25, and why don't you take over?
Yeah. So it's kind of wild. So they did the pre-trial conference. They had come to the prosecuting, and you guys, it sucks because a lot of the times you get a plea agreement offer. Not every time somebody takes it, they'll fight it to take it to the box. That is criminal talk of, oh, I'm taking it to a jury trial. So after the pretrial, they come up together to do a totally just went blank there. A plea deal.
Plea.
And I can't remember what the exact plea agreement was.
It was no time, wasn't it? I can look it up really quick.
So I don't remember if it was no time, but it wasn't kind of listed as how much time.
Okay, let me see if I can find it here.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but
it recommended 3
I think
years.
it was, yeah, if I remember correctly, it was up to 3 years.
10 years in prison. So the initial plea agreement was 3 to 10 years in prison. But I don't know what he was going to do on the civil side. You know what I'm saying?
So the civil side, I don't think has been touched, and that's a completely different ballgame.
Oh, that was just for the criminal purpose.
That's just for criminal. When it comes to the civil, pretty much, so what they're doing is just suing him for money. He can't get jail time or prison time or anything on a civil case.
Well, that's and he's just saying he's completely broke. And we can go into that, but
that's like would be me taking you to court for something, and like if say I won, it wouldn't matter. Like you wouldn't get jail time, prison time, nothing like that. It would just be like you owe me money, pretty much. Which okay. I mean, he doesn't have a pot to piss in at this point. And it's hard because like I know situations from other aspects that I cannot talk about, and yeah, it's just crazy. But in my whole entire life, and I'm not very old. Oh, I'm in my late 30s. I have never seen a judge deny a plea agreement.
Yeah, so they go to they had a hearing, right, where the judge was going to either accept the plea agreement and then.
So it's a change of plea, and that's usually how they'll do it is like a change of plea status kind of hearing or whatever. And that's when you go in and say, hey, I'm going to take my not guilty plea away and I'm going to plead guilty. And my attorney and the state have come up with this agreement on me changing my plea. And in my whole life and even in my own past history, I guess, okay, one other time, but that was my own bad. And the judge was like, yeah, we're not doing an Alford plea. I was like, fine. But I've never seen a judge deny it, ever. It kind of, when it come back with, nope, the judge denied the whole plea agreement, I was like, wait, what?
And I don't know who our judges and prosecutors here in Idaho will let you walk for everything but pot.
You'll spend more time in prison here for drugs than you will other offenses that are so wrong.
To people who are very innocent and no time, but if you get caught with a couple of joints in your pocket out on a Sunday night, they're going to get you.
Yep. They're going to get you for it. Oh, it's so disgusting. It makes me so mad. Because even if they finally do get sent up there for innocent, and I'm sure you guys are gathering where we're going with this. I mean, very innocent individuals. You're locked up in you're not out in general pop. You're PC'd up. You're in protective custody. You're away from everybody.
Yeah, the whole thing just pisses off so bad. Mm-hmm. I was mad when I saw the plea agreement because I thought he needs more than at least 3 years. I mean, I know it says 3 to 10, but they're going to just do 3.
Oh, he was also trying to get out of that too.
He's trying to get out of it, right? He was saying, well, my health is so bad now. Well, screw you. I'm sorry. I mean, I have we know friends that are on our team who have been involved with this, they don't know if they got grandpa back.
My sister-in-law, same way.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have any compassion for you. So I know these are alleged, but
But come on, because when it started to spiral, why didn't you reach out and ask for help?
Yeah. Yeah.
When things started to not go in a good direction, when it comes to morticians, growing up in the very, very small community I grew up in, and it has the only funeral home down there. Amazing people. They also have another one, I think, in Marsh Valley or somewhere over Marsh Valley or McCammon. I can't remember. But you reach out to others because when you're in that line of work, you're a community. You
Right.
help one another.
Right.
So it just boggles my mind that they walk into this horrific scene.
We have other funeral homes with crematoriums that he could have called and
Yeah.
said, hey, my crematorium is broke down. If that was the case, can you take these and get these bodies done for me? And we'll work out some kind of financial deal next month or whatever. People will work with you. But he didn't. He let these people decompose.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
he
just
was
like,
willy-nilly just giving people remains, and it was just, it's just a box. Who cares?
we honestly, I don't think we'll ever know how many people truly don't know if they got the remains of their loved ones or not.
Right. Well, so I met a gentleman who was part of the crew that demolished the funeral home. And he's like, I got to tell you. He goes, I can't. There was things still there. Stuff still on site when we were just bulldozing it in. And he said, it just really bothers me. It really bothers me because according to him, there were.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm. That's what he said. I don't know whether or not anything he said is true.
I mean, do I doubt it?
I just don't know.
I don't
can't
know.
tell you. Maybe it's just because we know what happened there, but when you drive by it, you're just like, oh.
And it doesn't help that the high school is already so haunted.
Yeah, there's already activity.
And then you have like this horrible situation that happened right behind it. And I mean, in bottom line, you guys, these are still kids. Like they're young kids that were going to school every day because school is already back in for almost a month at this point.
Yeah.
And smelling
so
it and then realizing what was going on. It's just so disturbing. And I really bothers me. And I don't understand, like, why didn't you reach out?
Like I said, this guy told me this, with the logo on our truck, my truck, people come up to me randomly and tell me things they've experienced because we have a paranormal group. And so people will come up and say, so he hits me one day, like I'm walking out of the post office and he's like, hey, I got something I want to tell you. And he's telling me all of this stuff. I'm like, oh, and he goes, I was so creeped out. And I'm like, yeah, well, first of all, I don't know whether anything he said was true, but he said that he was so disturbed that he had to, he's like, I had to leave. I couldn't continue. Really bothered him. And these burly guys that work in construction, they don't.
Yeah, my dad's a construction worker. Not a lot bothers them. And I
them,
had actually heard there was a couple that actually walked off of this site and was just like, I can't. I mean, and that's through the grapevine or whatever, knowing people. But yeah, I had heard that there was some that did. They couldn't.
And I'm surprised. I mean, there are 100,000 people here, right? I'm surprised at how many people I have met who said, oh, yeah, that was my sister's boy, or that was our grandpa, or that was like, it's less than 6 degrees of separation in this town because you'll eventually wander into a conversation where someone says, yeah, we were affected by this.
Because we are not a big community. I mean, in a roundabout way, there's some tie between somebody, especially if you're from here, you guys.
Yeah, it's disturbing. Now, again, we've said it several times. All of this is alleged. There is apparently a trial now set for.
What did I say it was? January.
So his attorney left the case.
Yeah. Like right after the judge denied.
Yeah, his attorney walked off and he's like, I'm done, And so now they had to push the case out on the criminal stuff another year because they're going to have to get a public defender up to speed.
They have a status conference scheduled for March 2nd, a pretrial conference scheduled for December 7th of this year. The jury trial is not scheduled until February 1st of 2027.
Yeah. So if so apparently his health is really bad. I really hope that he makes it that long. I would like to see this man in the courtroom. I might actually take that time off work to sit there and report on it every day, because this affects so many people I've met, or so many people that I actually know. And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
So
It's so disturbing. It is definitely going to be a story to come, because there's still so much that we don't know.
that will come out in the
And
trial.
and everything's alleged. And that's if he goes to jury trial again. He
If
still
he
has
does.
the opportunity with this new lawyer to do another plea agreement.
I want a jury. I want a
But
jury trial.
I
want to hear
honestly
everything.
don't know if this judge is going to allow it.
I don't know. I have
Which
to
is
wonder
kind of
what,
crazy, you
what
guys, understanding what community we're in. It is a very, I don't know how to like pronounce that, like the, well, LDS, very LDS community. And if you're connected to the LDS church, they save one another. I don't care who you are. I will stand on that hill. I will die on that hill.
Mm-hmm.
They will protect you, and
Absolutely.
they will find any way to do it. So it is kind of crazy to me. It still blows me away that that judge denied that plea agreement. It just blows me away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That's really interesting to me why the judge did that. I would love to have
Hmm.
heard those chamber conversations. So, but that's
Yeah.
Downard Funeral Home. We will have a Downard Funeral Home Part 2 next year. Hopefully, we go to trial and we actually get this guy on these felony charges, and he does hard time. He's not in the best of health now, so but seeing him behind bars would be a very good thing for a lot of families. He needs to
I
pay
also
for what
wonder
he's done, and that's not even talking.
if they're going to bring federal
Hmm.
charges, because they can still indict him on federal charges
For what?
for the
The wire
like
fraud?
anything tax, wire fraud. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like you can
yeah,
get
I
federal
guess they
charges for
could.
drugs.
That's
I
true.
mean,
I
and
don't
if
know what they're
anything
gonna do.
cross state lines or anything like that, like it can be tacked onto a federal crime.
Yeah, I don't know what. I've never heard. I've never heard any rumbling that they're going to go after him federally. I think they're going to let the state handle it. But yeah,
I'd be
and
happy
then
if the feds
who
did.
knows? So apparently he did sell. He had, so wasn't he like forced to sell the property to the city?
I
And
think
there
so.
was a pot of money with that. And with that, he had to pay some of his legal fees. And he's complaining that he only got like $7,000 out of the sale of this. And I'm like, what? You have, I'm sorry, the gonads to complain
Ah,
about the
yeah,
amount
like
of money you got from this place where you did such horrific things to people's loved ones? Yeah, I couldn't believe
yeah.
he had to. I cannot believe he even went there. He does not
It
know when
doesn't
to shut
surprise
up.
me. It
Yeah,
honestly doesn't surprise me.
I yeah I
Some people
I
like
have so much
that.
more that I would like to say.
I
No,
know. I can feel your energy through the screen. I'm like, oh snap. But I mean, it's hard because people like that will never look at anything that they've done. They will
no,
twist it and play
completely
the victim in it. And
sociopath.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he's
sad.
definitely.
It's
There's no compassion there for any of the families that he did such horrible things to. So, well, there you go, guys. Downer Funeral Home. I've got a whole lot of funeral home cases that we're going to intertwine with our murder cases, and we may venture into some missing person cases, and we
it's
really want.
hey, it's cream de la
It's
cringe.
creme de la cringe-worthy crime.
Like it's
But
everything from it all. Because
it's
we've dealt
everything.
with, I mean, I've seen paper or newspaper stuff where like these funeral homes were caught selling remains,
Oh
like
yeah,
the full body to people, and I'm like, what? Why? Like, why would you do that? That's so disturbing. So
right.
I mean, I think it can be an awesome section of our podcast.
Yeah, it's just so disturbing. I
It,
think if my dad had been in because he died in 2020, but I took him to a different funeral home, thankfully. Had he been caught up in all of this stuff, they I, I'd be in jail.
Yeah. I
for
could,
what I would
yeah,
have done. Yeah.
I already know
Because,
that.
like,
Yep.
no. I don't know how these people, hats off to these people for just maintaining their decorum because, yeah, I don't think I could have.
No, I know I couldn't have, especially if it would have been my grandma. Like, no. Mm-mm.
Right. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. If you have a particular case you want us to research, we'll bring it to you. Let us know. Drop us a comment, send us an email, and be safe out there. Stay away
Yes. Bye,
from
guys.
shady funeral homes.
Yeah.